Hello, welcome to us, Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. In this video, pretty exciting video actually, we're talking about another Regiment of Renown. If you don't know how Regiments of Renown work in Age of Sigmar 4, a Regiment of Renown is a single kind of little grouping of miniatures that you're able to take. You can only include one Regiment of Renown out of the 5 regiments you're able to take in an Age of Sigmar 4 2,000 point army list. They're kind of like a narrative inclusion of a Regiment of Renown, which is, I think, actually very, very cool. And the one that we're going to be talking about today are the Black Talons. The Black Talons are actually the feature of a animation that you can watch on Warhammer Plus or probably YouTube if you try hard enough. And they are Sigmar's assassins. They are a group of assassins sent by Sigmar to go and like deal with threats which a larger army normally can't deal with. They're led by Neeve Black Talon, and Neeve Black Talon is on the search to find out what has happened to her and what happened to her in the past. But if you don't know Stormcast Eternal stories, when they die, they forget some of the things that have happened to them, and then they keep dying because they keep being sent into battle, and then eventually they end up as a reclusian in the final stages of their life, and then when they finally get to the end of that process, there's a fella who just chops their heads off. It's a pretty dark end to Lord Terminus, his name, for the Black Talons. But right now, they're not quite that far gone. And they also have along with them Lorai, who is an Idoneth Deepkin wizard. She plays the role as kind of like a master of whispers. And her job is to direct the Black Talons to their targets. If, you know, she's kind of, New Black Talon is John Wick, and then Lorai is the lady on the phone, like ringing them up. So she doesn't die as much. There's also a fun little narrative bit where there's an archer in the group, and the archer is kind of the group's memory because the archer generally doesn't tend to die as much as the frontline fighters. Anyway, that's the kind of backstory for the Black Talons. The Black Talons as a unit of miniatures is also a really fun little thing to build and paint because you've got these Stormcast Eternal heroes, which are fairly unique, and then you also have an Idoneth Deepkin wizard that you can include in it as well. If you were going to build the Black Talon, like take them, you get Neeve Black Talon, you get Neeve's companions, her little group, and you get Lorai, Child of the Abyss, as a wizard. Now, these actually play the role of assassin incredibly well. And again, like many of the regiments, one of the things I like about them is if you're playing with your clubmates, or even if you were trying to play at an event, like this is a fun kind of like narrative inclusion you can add for yourself, which actually has some pretty solid in-game effects you could do some really fun stuff with. So let's go look at what the Black Talons do. They have a special ability called Justice Will Be Served, which you can do once per battle for the army. This means you can only do it once across the whole army, only do it once per battle, and it's done in the combat phase. You pick Neeve Black Talon in this Regiment of Renown to be the hit target if it's in combat with an enemy hero. The target can use 2 fight abilities this phase. Each time it does so, if it's in combat with an enemy hero, all of its attacks must target an enemy hero. In addition, after the first fight ability is used, the target has strike last for the rest of the turn. Now, this isn't super strong unless Neeve is really good in combat, but thankfully, she's excellent in combat if she's fighting against an enemy hero. So that is very good. So you got this once per battle ability to just absolutely dunk on an enemy hero. And seeing as you've got quite a lot of movement from these units, which we'll talk about in a sec, that's actually very effective and will work really well. Okay, let's break down the units and look at how they work. The first one we'll obviously focus on is Neeve. Okay, so Neeve is a single model. She moves 7 inches, which is very fast. And if you're looking to run and shoot with her, she has the Vanguard Chamber passive, which means this unit can shoot and or charge even if you use a run or retreat ability. So this does mean she can retreat and charge, which is a very powerful mechanic, but also she can run and charge. And seeing as you can run 6 inches, that means she can move 13 and then charge. That's really fast. She's got 6 health, which is very survivable, and a 3-up armor save. So that's pretty tanky, really, for just a little foot character. And then she has a shooting attack, which is 10-inch range, 3 shots that do damage 1, but is shooting in combat. But the important part is that she's got the whirlwind axes. And this is the reason that you're here. 7 attacks, which is massive, and they've got crit 2 hits, which means every 6 to hit is going to be 2 hits. Wounds on a 3, Ren 2, which is really great if you're fighting enemy heroes, and damage 2. But thanks to the passive Justice of Azir, you add 1 to the damage characteristic of this unit's whirlwind axes for attacks that target heroes. So what you're looking at now is 7 attacks, damage 3. And if she uses the ability to fight twice, once per battle against an enemy hero. That is going to be set 14 attacks, damage 3. And there's the possibility to kill every hero in Age of Sigmar, like even the biggest gods. Is she going to do it all the time? Absolutely not. But already that's an incredibly fun mechanic to have this lady just absolutely running in like Wolverine in Logan, trying to save the kids, just like stab, stab, right? But it gets even better because she has this ability called Wind Rider, which you can do in your combat phase. You declare if this unit is in combat or charge this turn, this unit can make a pile-in move. Then, if this unit is in combat, you must pick one or more enemy units to be the target of this effect. The reason that sounds a bit weird is because what this is doing is this is replacing the normal fight ability that you use. And you can see that because down here, it's got the keywords core, attack, and fight. So this means you wouldn't be able to do this and also use the normal fight ability. And that's fine because of the bonus that you get. You resolve the combat attacks against the target unit, then roll a dice, and on a 3-up, you remove this unit from the battlefield and set it up again on the battlefield more than 3 inches from all enemy units and wholly within the combat range of a friendly unit of the Black Talons unit that is not in combat. So picture this. The enemy has got a screen right in front of their army. You just send Neeve in, she chops them to pieces, and then she, on a 3+, teleports away. That's pretty nice. Straight back to where the Black Talons are and hangs out with them. That's already really fun. But let's make this incredibly fun. So we're going to make Neeve run and charge. She gets into an enemy hero. So she fights. Bang. Yeah, she uses the fight ability. Yeah, and she kills the enemy hero if we want to. Then what she does on a 3+, she teleports back to the Black Talons and 3 inches outside of the enemy unit. Now, when it gets to the strike last step, she's going to be able to pile in again because piling in or declaring a fight ability with a unit requires them to either be in combat or to have charged that turn. So now we can charge in, fight again, as long as we're still hitting an enemy hero. So she could be taking 2 heroes for the price of 1 in a turn, kills that, it doesn't even need to kill it, just do a bunch of damage. Then on a 3+, boop, teleports away again. That's super nice. And that's because the ability that lets you fight twice lets you use 2 fight abilities. And Wind Rider is a fight ability. It's got the keyword right there, and it happens in the combat phase. So that is an incredibly funny little trick that you can do, and probably the engaging reason that you would take Neeve. And all of this is buried in 320 points of value, but that's just Neeve. We've still got more units to talk about. Next unit we'll talk about that's in this kind of like package is Neeve's Companions. There's 3 models in this unit. Each one's got 3 health and a 3-up save. However, they have the Shield of Azir passive, while any friendly, the Black Talons heroes, which will be Neeve, are wholly within this unit's combat range. Both this unit and that unit have a 5-up ward save. So now Neeve can have a 5-up ward save. The Black Talons can have a 5-up ward save. That's very cool. Makes them much more survivable. So 9 health. So 3 health per model, 9 health across the unit, 3+ save, 5+ ward save. One of the models has got the Typhoon crossbow, which is an 18-inch range, which is pretty massive in Age of Sigmar 4. 3 shots, 3s and 3s, rend 1, unless you're shooting against a hero, in which case it's rend 2, and then damage 2. That's just basically an artillery piece built into a unit. Then 2 of the models have got the sword axe and the warhammer. The sword axe has got 6 attacks that do damage 2, and the warhammer's got 4 attacks damage 2, which is great. They're not going to fight frontline heroes. I mean, maybe they will. They'll probably die, but maybe. And then their job is to just like beat on other kind of like small support pieces. But I think that they could go toe-to-toe with some units with that 5-up ward save, 3-up armor save. They're not going to survive against the most killy units in the game, you know, like Rock Guts or Varangard or stuff like that. But they don't cost that many points either compared to those units. Now, that's not the only piece of this puzzle, because there's still one last piece in that we've got Lorai. Lorai, Child of the Abyss, is a wizard. That's pretty cool. Power level 1, and I always say that a power level 1 wizard is worth about 100 points. So you can knock off everything that you get for Neeve Black Talon and Neeve's Companions and make them 100 points cheaper, taking them down to 220 just because Lorai is in there. Now, Lorai has got a built-in 4-up save, a built-in 5-up ward save, and has got a combat attack. It's a wizard. That's not what it's there for. Is always -1 to be hit if you target them with attacks, but it's got its own unique spell called Nebulous Sea Fog, where until the start of your next turn, while a friendly, the Black Talons unit is holding 6 inches of this unit, the unmodified hit roll of a shooting attack that targets that unit is a 1 to 5. The attack fails, and the attack sequence ends. So only hitting on 6s. Apart from being able to cast this spell, if you're playing against an enemy army that doesn't have any shooting, also being able to cast manifestations and also being able to shut down enemy wizard spells, you being able to do banishments or to try to attempt to unbind them. This is also probably a pretty key unit for some armies that don't have the ability to try to shut down enemy spells, like Caradron Overlords or like the Fire Slayers, who don't have access to a wizard. So this allows you to bring a regiment with a wizard inside of it, and that regiment is going to be able to engage in the spell casting. It means Lorai as well can also cast manifestation. So if you're playing in Caradron Overlords, you could bring yourself an Incarnate that only requires 1 cast to summon. And that is absolutely massive, in my opinion. But it's very, very cool. And all of this package, the whole Black Talons package is all built into 320 points. I think that's an absolute bargain, and also really fun. That's the key part. Sometimes stuff is strong, but it isn't fun. But the concept of having Neeve just go around and just absolutely smash enemy heroes is so funny and is also very cool. And seeing as it's got this fun like anime series or animation series backing it up, it really adds to the kind of flavor of the universe. I think this is really fun. I think Games Workshop have done a good job with some of the Regiments of Renown. I think they've especially done good jobs with the ones that are like a little bit of a package that they sell and not the, they've just grabbed a few units and said this is a unit. But this is very fun. And I wouldn't mind seeing more flavor brought to different armies or even to, the universe through these kind of, hero character combo packages. It's very fun. Maybe it is a bit too pushed points wise. I don't know, but I really like it. And the best thing for me is you tell me what you think. I love hearing what other people think. I'm recording this video now while I'm chatting to the Twitch chat. They seem to really like it. My friend Rob said he loved it. He loved the idea of bopping in with her, bopping out. I mean, seems like very, very fun in like a Cities of Sigmar gun line. Because, you've got a more mobile unit and you could run across the board there. Feels like a auto-include in Fire Slayers and Deepkin because of the ability to have a wizard as well. But very fun. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you again soon.